Hi, in this video I'll talk to you about known and less known contactees and seers. What is interesting about them is that despite differences, they all converge saying similar things about those crucial time in our history, and their message often coincide with the most accurate geopolitical forecast. In fact, they all see water and air showing their destructive power, wars that will increase all over the world, land that won't give fruits anymore due to water scarcity or floods and many other things, but in the end they all converge saying that the earth will be purified to host a new world. In 2019, Giulietto Chiesa, a journalist and geopolitical analyst, gave a prophetic interview to Giorgio Bongiovanni. He talked about a mass extermination war for 2024. How could he calculate this date? He was referring to a 2018 Pentagon Report that announced a high probability of armed conflict in 2024. Today there are actors who no longer accept orders from American dominance, and one of these is China. American ruling classes can no longer dominate with peace, so they decided to sort out the issue with a war. In fact, in 2002, George Bush came out of the ballistic missile treaty, and most recently Trump even of the mid-range missile treaty. They wanted to militarily encircle Russia, get Ukraine, the Baltic countries and other small countries into NATO. Then they must have calculated it would take around 5 years to do it. The United States wanted to put Putin in a corner, liquidate Russia separately, but now they can't because China economy is growing and Putin has been able to create a strategic bond between Russia and China. And the military goes hand in hand with the energy framework because there are the various Middle Eastern players that come in, including Iran, but also Venezuela and some African countries like Ethiopia that are joining the BRICS. Then there is the climatic issues, as entire continentals melting, as we know, rising of sea level, large displacement of people, and the extremization of the already huge gap between rich and poor. It is clear that this world order can no longer hold and is bound to break in the long run. Even Gisella Cardia, the seer of Trevignano Romano, had given some messages about the times to come. The 8th of September 2024, in a message she said, "Floods and earthquakes are changing the earth's appearance. New and old diseases will loom. The sun will emanate all its power, causing great solar storms. Look at the signs from heaven. These are the end times." And the message of 23rd of January 2024 about the war says, "The Church and Israel will be the first targets of the Antichrist and his follower. This is, above all, a religious war." And then the 3rd of January, a head of state will be attacked and war will invade Europe. But after all those catastrophic events, the earth will be purified and many see the advent of a golden age. In fact, the 3rd of August 2022, Gisella reported in a message, "Dear children, rejoice because the coming of Jesus is near. Open your hearts, I'm here to prepare you to see my Jesus coming on the clouds from heaven to give you a land purified from evil where everything will be new." In 1994, even Peter Deunov talked about this new world and said, "Human being will overcome this age of obscurantism to come to a new world based on the laws of love. Work will become less alienating for everyone and people will engage in creative and spiritual activities. The relationship between man and woman will finally be resolved in full balance and each gender will follow its aspirations. Men will travel the universe and experience the fusion with their creator. Marco Marsili, an independent researcher and contactee who had direct experiences of sightings and contacts, believes we are already living the ascending Dvāpara Yuga, which is the third of the four evolutionary ages, also called the Age of Aquarius. In fact, the Indian master Sri Yukteswar, in his book The Holy Science, revised the calculation of yugas, saying they could be wrong, as done by scholars living in that dark age, so little enlightened. Marco says that one of the signs that humanity has already entered the new era is given by the study of subtle energies initiated by Nikola Tesla. Moreover, a small part of humanity has already realized the illusion of Maya and projected itself towards spiritual awakening. So we could be already at the end of the third septenary cycle, transitioning to the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension, humanities have unconditional love as their only commandment. Instead, we are in the third dimension and we still are animal humans. A strong instinct dominates our spiritual part. But when we become real human beings, the spirit will dominate our instinctive emotions. Hari-kīrtana Dasa, scholar of the Bhagavad-gita, effectively explains the soul experience in the age of Kali. It is our soul that, refusing the possibility of redemption given to us by previous eras, has chosen to incarnate again in the age of Kali. In fact, we have desired the freedom of choice. We have desired to put ourselves in the place of God. And if we are gods, we can do everything. We have thought that happiness is equal to possess and enjoy, and now we realize the illusion of it, the distraction actually caused by the absence of rules in every area of life, whether moral, sexual, economic, and so on. Ivanov, the famous disciple of Peter Deunov, speaking of love and sublimation of sexual energy, said about this age of consumption: nowadays, a man and a woman that feel mutual attraction want to satisfy it immediately, but if they learn how to sublimate that energy, they would reach extraordinary states of consciousness. In India and Tibet, they call it Tantra Yoga. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and see you in the next video.